had the lighting here. I think we should
I
go
think we should just go inside.
Ladies and gentlemen, please note, speaking so loudly around me when I just woke up is equally not as good as when you hear my voice in town. And I guess that's why I'm known as the voice of Dubai. السيدات والسادة مرحبا بكم في دبي أوبرا Dubai Expo 2020 حياكم. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Coca-Cola Arena. When I was 17 and a half, I ended up being the sole survivor of a crash where I lost my two childhood best friends. Here's a little actual nugget for you. My heart stopped. Flatline! 46 seconds, came back to life. Just, oh, he's dead now. Oh, wait, he's not. It wasn't a choice. I didn't wake up and say, I'm gonna make music. It's like, this is the only thing I got. That's the only thing I got.
I want to drive a Ferrari. When he told me that, just put bread on your table now, for God's sake. A few years later, he got two, so.
You know how they say be the best or be first? I did both. I sacrificed 11 years to say, hey, I'm a pioneer in my industry. The man who would eventually be known as the voice of Dubai. And I don't think there's many of those.
If you've landed in Dubai and used the public transport or gone to the movies, theme parks, or just explored the city, there are chances you have heard his voice. From being a school dropout to facing life and death crisis, today he is a brand in himself. On this episode of Stories from UAE, I'm uncovering the journey of Mr. Ahmad Haffar, who is popularly known as the voice of Dubai. So if you've paid attention to the jingles and voices all around Dubai, well, that's pretty much Ahmad for you. It's time to put a face to this voice, so sit back, turn up the volume and enjoy.
Hello guys, welcome to Mind Loop and a bunch of other stuff. You guys good? What do you want to set up? Let's do this. Very nice. Very nice of you. Thank you, of course. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Yeah, see, that's how it changes. Hello everybody, name's Ahmad Haffar, known as the Voice of Dubai. I was born in Tripoli of Lebanon, where the sweets are sweeter than can be. So yeah, I am a school dropout. And to this day, my family supports me a lot in pretty much all of my decisions. I believed in me first, and then everybody else followed. That's a little bit about Ahmad Haffar. We are comprised of 4 kids and a mom and a dad, and every single one of them had a role. My eldest brother was the one who gave us the ability to have hope, to expand our mindsets and leave Lebanon and discover the world. Then my sister followed, who is a brilliant scientist, and I was the headache of everybody. But luckily, I had the ability to discover myself at a young age and my love for music, and that's what kicked off my journey. It was genuinely just pure, unfiltered love for art, for music. So Tripoli is not a very rich city in Lebanon, but in other terms, we broke. I mean, compared to rich people, we broke. Yeah. I started failing school at around 14, 15 because of my lack of interest in academia and my unbelievable and unquenchable thirst for music and art. It wasn't a choice. I didn't wake up and say, I'm gonna make music. It's like, this is the only thing I got. That's the only thing I got.
Ahmad's family was extremely disappointed when Ahmad decided to drop out of school to pursue his passion for music. But how old was Ahmad when he realized he has a unique talent?
For me, the first time that I actually knew that I had something unique was when I was playing in a guitar center place in front of like 20, 25 kids when I was around 14 years old. And what I was playing was completely different than everybody else. I was playing like the weirdest, relaxing ambient music while everybody was just trying to play Red Hot Chili Pepper and Metallica. And I was literally booed off stage. And I knew that I had to be different. Plus the person who owned the place, very lovely guy called Salim, who is still a good friend of mine to this day, said, you got something different in you, but you need to discover it. And I guess that was my turning point when someone I looked up to looked at me and said, you need to discover what you have because you have something different.
Ahmad was never really good in academics and even failed his 11th and 12th standard. But that did not deter his confidence because he was producing music from the age of 12 using his mother's phone. But as life has it, a turning point came in when he met with a life-changing car accident.
So I was coming back from Beirut to Tripoli when I was around 17 and a half, and my lovely mother was out of the country, and I had promised her I wouldn't leave our immediate city, but I did. Wanted to have fun with my friends, and I ended up being the sole survivor of a crash where I lost my two childhood best friends. Had a broken leg, hand, back, and a bunch of other stuff. Here's a little actual nugget for you. My heart stopped. Yeah, like literally. Flatline! 46 seconds, came back to life. I know what you're thinking. They, clear, no clear. Just, oh, he's dead now. Oh, wait, he's not. I'm here. I'm here for a reason. What are you here for? What are you gonna do? When are you gonna do it? Tomorrow? Wow, well done.
After fracturing almost every bone in his body, recovery was Ahmad's toughest battle, physically and mentally. He credits his friends and family, but his true healing came only through music.
So exiting the accident and getting back on my feet, quite literally, psychologically, it was horrible. Of course it was. I lost my closest friends. I couldn't do anything. Nobody can understand what this was and how impactful it was to me. You guys now know that I not only love music, I make music for a living. To do that, I need hands, right? Because I play the keyboard, I play piano, I play guitar, I play cello, I play a little bit of violin. And when I had a broken hand, it meant I couldn't actually play anything. And it's right here. Still a little bit of a remnant, little scar on my hand just to remind me every time I try to give up again. But what actually really kicked off my life after was playing a lot of music when my hand healed. And I mean, a ridiculous amount. You guys want to know a funny story? I had the police called in on me when I was 16 years old because of my electric guitar endeavors at that time. And they're like, they went into like, oh, your son's very loud and your neighbors are complaining. And then my mother was like, oh, I'll tell him to keep it down. Then my mom's like, why'd you gotta do that? I'm like, because that's probably gonna end up being my career. So I should start from now.
Ahmad came to Dubai 11 years ago with a dream to make a living in the city with the help of his brother. And as destiny would have it, after 2 jobs and 3 years of endless hustle, he finally found his inner calling and a path towards his entrepreneurial journey.
One day, I get the call. That my eldest brother, Hussam, is moving me to Dubai to get away from the hurt and the pain that I went through in Lebanon and to try my luck in Dubai. But what my brother Hussam did not know at the time was that he was importing the man who would eventually be known as the voice of Dubai. And I don't think there's many of those. When I first came to Dubai, I did start off in a normal job. It didn't last long, and I'm glad it didn't, but I was called a music programmer. I would make music playlists similar to Spotify for retail shops, and that gave me awareness of how important music is for brands. And then I was having a coffee with a very good friend of mine, who's still a very good friend of mine to this day. He looked me straight in the face and he's like, hey, do you know that ba-da-pa-pa-pa, I'm loving it? I'm like, give me a McDonald's. He's like, yeah, but did I tell you McDonald's? I'm like, no. And that's where the idea of music branding came from. Honestly, when I Googled how much that little jingle was sold, did you guys know $4.2 million? Yeah, for that 4-second signature. So, if I sell one of those, I'm set for life. So, and then I did. I actually sold 114 of those. Just not for $4 million each. Not yet anyway.
The path of success for Ahmad did not come easily. He had a lot of sacrifices.
I did what most people refuse to do in their lives. I sacrificed. I had nothing to do but work. So what was my life after the first project? It was the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and now the 115th plus. So it took me 11 years of no vacations and no time off and no having fun and no any of that to say, hey, I'm a pioneer in my industry. And I am.
After 12 years of immense hard work, Ahmad started his entrepreneurial journey by teaching voiceovers to people. And that's how he opened UAE's first academy for voiceovers and music branding in Dubai.
This is Mind Loop Studios. This was my first entrepreneurial journey and my first company. Let me show you around. We've got the first studio. So upstairs, we have our accountant, and then this is the first studio right here. And also this is the room where I started my entrepreneurial journey. And it was not easy, but having beautiful people sit in it like this makes it all worthwhile. Here's the second room. This is where our head of audio, Jihad, sits, as I used to compose a lot of the most extremely, unbelievably, and ridiculously known pieces of music for brands in the Middle East in this room. I can't talk about a lot of them, but we'll talk about a few. So this is our big recording studio room. Everything has the beautiful Media City Lake right next to it. And also, this is where the Dubai Opera, Dubai Aquarium, Center Point, Expo, and quite a lot were recorded right here. I mean, I work a lot with the Dubai government, as you're aware, and I can't name all of my projects, but I'm pretty sure you can recognize the tones, no matter what voice I put on that day. Check out this room. This is our CEO's office, and that is none other than Ahmad Haffar, my very own brother,
Hello.
the eldest in my family, and the guy you heard me talk about earlier, who got me in Dubai. Hussam is a little bit older than me, a lot wiser than me, and told me that I shouldn't be pursuing. Actually, no. What did you say when I was a kid, Hussam?
He was a dreamer. That's what the first impression of my friend who interviewed him. He had a keyboard over there, and they started to create music. And then the guy put the guitar down and he said, yeah, I would like to hire your brother, please. One day he came to me and he said, I can't do this anymore. I met someone new, a recording studio. It's a dream. I said, look, I've helped you enough. This is the last time I'm gonna help you. You're on your own. That's it. You need to figure it out. And now I work with him as a partner. So I think I did the right investment. I want to drive a Ferrari. That time when he told me that, I was seriously sitting, I'll never forget. And I'm looking at him and said, just put bread on your table now, for God's sake, before you think of Ferraris. A few years later, he got two. So, I mean, it was like, yeah, all right, okay.
Up, okay. We welcome you back soon. Where did my entrepreneurial journey start? It started with where I'm sitting, Mind Loop Studios, founded by a lovely man called Ahmad as well. So I've composed a lot of music here, I've recorded a lot of voices here. I came up with the idea of teaching people voiceovers because a lot of people would come and try it out here. And a lot of people would write on my stories and write on my reels like, oh, I can do that. Oh, that's easy. Oh, that's that. Yeah, I agree. Voiceover is easier than composing the official music identity of a brand to be used on a global scale, but it doesn't make it easy. And that's where I came up with the idea of On the Field Creative Academy, which is the first school of its kind in the UAE and probably beyond. And in the speech and communication program, I'm super honored to say that I personally took care of Ronaldo Mushawar, who is the CEO of Amazon in the Middle East. It was a prideful moment when he believed in my school and believed in me.
We all know jingles from radio, TV, and now even social media. But Ahmad does something different, which is sonic branding. But what is sonic branding really? Let's find out.
Sonic branding is a piece of 4-second melody that chimes in your head and reminds you of a brand, like McDonald's, like Netflix. So it's the equivalent of a logo and a sound. And even though people say, it's a 4-second melody, it must be very easy to make. No, it's actually extremely hard to make because you have only 4 seconds to explain an entire brand. And some of my projects that have become, unfortunately, too famous, such as, Insurance Market, take one, which is here in Dubai. You can tell, as I understand it's a bit annoying to most people, but that is a perfect example of how well a sonic branding can work. Like when I did CFI recently, and now Lewis Hamilton is their global ambassador, which is super cool because I heard them say, well, CFI, empower yourself, you know that one? Yeah. the melody goes up and then so da 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 da. That's the melody, and because that's stalks going up and down. CFI, empower yourself. So empower yourself through the ups, empower yourself through the downs. So that's how much messaging is in that one little piece of 4-second melody there. And of course, all the other longer versions that were created for the brand.
Ahmad's talent slowly started getting noticed not just from company to company, but also from industry experts throughout UAE who wanted to hire him to create jingles and sonic branding for them.
You know how they say be the best or be first I did both. You guys comprehend that, right? You guys have been to a bunch of theme parks here in the UAE, right? Yeah, that's my music. You have no idea, do you? I know. You've been to cinemas? Hi! Also my music. It's actually insane. You guys like cereal, right? Ever heard of a brand called Kellogg's? Yeah, you know that plays all over the world, right? Hi. The sheer amount of work that I've done, realistically, I've done over 150 voiceovers. I've done over 115 sonic branding projects. So we're talking official brand identity. We're not talking about a jingle. We're not talking about a one-time use piece. You think my voice is that famous in Dubai? It is, absolutely. Most famous voice in the country, I'm aware. But if you really put it compared to the music on a global scale, I promise you no. Now, when it comes to the voice section, I understood how it was to create something from nothing. And then when I did a lot of the announcements in Dubai, I realized that my voice was actually really good for announcements. And that's where, of course, the Dubai Media Office and other governmental branches have utilized my voice because of my ability of simply telling you to follow the rules in a manner that matters. That is created in a way to create a consistent voice for the city of Dubai. And that is why I'm known as the voice of Dubai.
Despite being incredibly talented, Ahmad faced sleepless nights and endless rejections while building Mindloop. It was hard work, not luck, that made him the best in the business.
What I can actually tell you is that I had no time off. I have slept in this office more times than I'm willing to admit when days were too busy. But at the end of the day, if you don't do it for you, who are you doing it for? I guess that's why you don't see a lot of me out there. But you see a lot of my work out there. The 15-year-old in me that held the same guitar that's sitting right there, quite literally the same one, he's so proud, it is ridiculous.
What a story it has been, from hustling through music gigs to becoming the iconic voice that defines Dubai. Ahmad's story has been a roller coaster of passion, resilience, and raw talent. It teaches us that success is built on hard work, daring to dream big, and not letting challenges hold you back. Well, I hope you liked watching this video. Do follow Curly Tales Middle East for more such stories and updates. This is your girl, Bianca Saurastri. I'll see you soon.